Hello, everybody. Welcome, Alberto. Today I will be streaming my hack Tour of Italy for its first anniversary, which happened just a couple days ago on June 30th, pretty late in the day. I managed to get the hack in by the contest deadline, though there was a slight bit of drama or non-serious debate about whether or not my submission was late enough to be unfair for, hackers in Europe or whatever. But, I did win. This hack somehow won the contest, somehow won the voting bracket, and I think it's purely on the basis of me linking the voting stream to some of my friends. So that's how democracy works. If you want people to vote for you, you just gotta get them out to vote, right? So they say. Or maybe. Yeah, I'll be playing the contest version I released last year. I've been working on some improvements, but I got sidetracked with other things, so they did not make it out in time for the first anniversary. But yes, without further ado, okay, the window's in focus. And here is our beautiful intro. Tour of Italy. The most Italian Super Metroid ROM hack. Though, actually, have any Italian ROM hackers hacked Super Metroid? I know that we have some Italian Zero Mission hackers on Metroid Construction, but this is an open question. Yes, we will start. Okay. The Galactic Federation held me in contempt after the destruction of SR-388 and Biologic Space Labs. They accused me of illegal mundicide and destruction of GF property for putting an end to their conspiracy. Indeed, Alberto. Nobody knows. Well, I still need to insert the replacement to that picture. Fortunately, someone listened. High Admiral Anthony Higgs had helped me end a similar conspiracy some time earlier, and with his influence we struck a plea bargain. By admitting fault to a minor instance of drunk driving, my sentence was reduced to 2 weeks of community service. The Italian Space Agency had a factory go dark about 2 days prior, and the agency demanded I specifically must respond to it alone. With no other options, I was forced to accept. So yeah, I actually had like this vague basic premise for a hack for a space station with 3 sectors based off of ice cream. I had this a few years ago as like a Metroid Fusion hack, but other than that, there's like no similarities. Like this idea just appeared to be like the hour the contest was announced. So anyways, here we get our first pack of missiles. It's just hidden behind this wall right here. And yeah, I made like these first 3 rooms first, and honestly it kind of shows, but I'm really proud of like how I was able to get the camera working here in the center, just to center on these mysterious tubes full of Italian fluids of unknown profit or mystery Italian fluids. And most people stub their toes on those spikes. I'm not sure if, it's a good idea, but especially since there's no way to refill health at this point, but I don't think it's too big of a deal. And we got station access granted. That's nice. Oh my goodness. My computer just hitched there for a bit. A game idea? The game idea occurred, yes. Some of the best game ideas are inspiration. I have not been to Olive Garden in several years. Okay. And so, like, the core conceit of this hack, you know, is that it's, besides being Italian, is that it's non-linear, genuinely, so you can pick any of these areas. I should go back to Olive Garden? Yeah, I should go to Olive Garden to celebrate this hack success. So, yeah. What was I gonna say? So yeah, it's non-linear. Like, you can go to any area first and find a progression item, and the progression item will ideally help you in another area in some fashion. So, though you can also just do everything in one round. Yeah, I have this sort of useless tunnel that I guess confused people. So this is just a hint that there's something above you. Oh wow. Can't believe I did not make that jump. And yeah, here it is. Okay, it is impossible to hit enemies in Super Metroid. I am not playing particularly well, but that's fine. I'm just going to tell myself I'm trying to focus very hard on our most beloved chatter. Okay, that's good. So my main design process for this area is I wanted it to have some big rooms, and big rooms, and they'd just be arranged in sort of an X shape. Just one room in the center, and then 4 connecting to it at the corners. And then everything else was just gravy, or just because I thought it was neat. Okay. I'm still debating if I should change these tiles to crumbles, or if I should like make some sort of air crumble tile for these instances. The fact that that has to be hit by missiles is kind of silly. Not sure. No, I don't exactly remember why I did that. There's a hidden gate there, in case you don't know how to wall jump. Oh, you didn't forget you are in Central Time? No siree? Well, good for you. This is in case you accidentally shut yourself in. Wait, what? That's weird. Like, I could have sworn I had this set up with like copy tile, so one of these is actually gate tile, but yeah. Oh yeah, silly me. It's a missile gate, but yeah, that's the only reason that back exit exists. Oh yes. This is an award-winning game. Very sensible. All design decisions are, you know, just the work of simple genius. Now, yeah, this room confused a lot of people for multiple reasons, and and you know, that's literally the intent. Like, oh, that powerbomb door was confusing, and also like people might not notice that there's 2 hidden passages from that. And yeah. Not the most thrilling gameplay, but whatever. Though I am proud that I managed to get all 3 pirate types working in one room, just because they basically share graphics. And I forgot about this one. And there. The funny thing about this item is it's much easier to get during the escape, because I made some tiles breakable on the other side, and I actually noticed some people do that in their playthroughs. Because, yeah, I made all the escape room states unique. And as for this, this right here, you're supposed to have a special key item for it, but I felt like putting this platform here so you can do a mock ball, if you please. Like that? Oh wow. First time. Yes, Mamma Mia, it's a Metroid. Thank you, Vinny. Okay. So, like, one of the design goals here was to just let people have fun, so to speak. Like, if they want to do something stupid with their advanced knowledge, they were perfectly welcome. And like, and almost everything was accounted for or anticipated. Yeah. Like, it's still pretty hard for me to mock ball myself, but I guess just like making this hack and testing those things out has made it easier for me. Would you like it to savor? I don't know. That message is very silly, but I'm proud of how many people proud of the reactions I got out of people from that. And as for this, the puzzle here is you're supposed to follow this wire, the tube, over here to find a hidden switch, and then you just use the beam you got as hinted by the background. Oops, I closed it. I'm not sure how many people correctly interpreted the hint in the background. I don't think that was very common, actually, for people to notice that. Yeah, you're bad at mock balling, but that's fine. I made an item just for that, just to solve that. Well, I didn't make the item, but I added the item. And I'm proud most people here found this hole because, you know, having 2 item pedestals there, but 1 empty is very sus. Okay. But, oh yeah, I did forget an item, so I might as well get it. But yeah, I also, like, had to make things up there. I wanted that mock ball to be possible as well for people who want to skip this item. Though it is kind of silly that you can't really notice the effect of this item in this room, but it is what it is. and I liked using the layering effects to have these tiles you can pass through be wavy. That was a fun little bit. Ah, come on. Can't believe I fell down. Yeah, the espresso ball was originally the matcha ball, like matcha tea or whatever, but my cultural consultant told me that espresso would be more Italian. Well, you'd be surprised that, like, the cardinal Metroid item rule of trapping you, but with your new ability. Actually, yeah, Super Metroid does do it. Does do that more than I'd like to think it does, but it usually does it softly. Like, there's often an alternative way to escape. Yeah, the use case is right there, but I had, like, surprised at how many people did not notice, or didn't realize it was a boost ball or a speed ball item, dash ball. Anyways, it was always funny to watch people realize this is what power bombs do. And if you lay a power bomb there, it just clips you through an 8-pixel ceiling. So that's funny. And you get the secret item, which the secret items in this, I guess, let you go over 100%, but I changed things in the update so they won't count to your percentage. Yes. Yeah, now Samus is mad at food, which makes her even more Italian. Let me check the map. I think that's everything in this area, so I'm actually gonna go to the top. And, like, this mock ball is possible, but it's kind of annoying to do. It doesn't really net you any rewards. And then here we have this. Oh, and I should mention, like, these elevators would not be possible without, you know, Ob in the audience here. Obodon, or however you pronounce it. Obodon? Obodan? I don't know. And so here we're up at the top hub. And as one player noted, all roads lead to Rome. Okay, the invalid keys for the administrative center. Oh yeah, well, multiple bugs. These elevators had so many bugs to work out. And one that we didn't solve until launch day, or release day, which was fun until the deadline. Okay. And there. I was tempted to make this energy tank hidden another layer deeper through a secret passage here, but I didn't feel like setting up the scroll PLMs, the scroll triggers. Speaking of scroll triggers, this room's a mess. I like this part where, you know, if you go down this, it shows you there's a major item right there, you know, teasing you. Yeah. This part was... these platforms were kind of vexing to some players, so I need to, like, fix them in some way. Because, like, there's no point in which clipping through them, those particular platforms, provides any benefit to a player or a speedrunner. So, and that was actually one of the more common complaints I had about this area. Oh yeah, like intentionally cargoing through things is great. Yeah. I haven't figured out why Sprite something introduced that animation bug in the case where, yeah. No. I got that a weird bug in the animation tables when wall jumping underwater with the screw attack. Oops. Thankfully, that reappears, but I realized I don't have the ice beam. But fortunately... Fortunately, I designed this hack for people stupid as me. And there we go. This was originally called the swirl jump, but it's a wall ride or wall climb ability, so yeah. Though this does do the, you know, classic Metroid thing of locking you inside until you figure out the item. But some people will manage to exit without figuring it out, but it's a very nice item, in my opinion. Oh yeah, I'm really glad that PJ on MechConst, his disassembly thing, was good enough for me to find the correct points to hijack this. Also, I think it's just very fun because the vertical speed upwards with this item is uncapped. Yeah. And there. And also, so the thing you can do here is... come on. I used to know the inputs to this. There. And like, I extended the scroll trigger to this particular point so scrolling doesn't break. So yeah. So one thing about this area that, I don't know, made me annoyed with some players, even though it's my fault, is people would fall down that bridge and then fall all the way down here, and like they'd come from the pistachio area and fall down that bridge, and then they were like, oh, I need to loop all the way around back down the vanilla elevator up to Pistachio, across the bridge, and do that again. Rather than just exploring this area to find whatever's here. And like and honestly at this point, I do not know how I would design around that. And I think I'm just going to leave it as is. But yeah, with the swirl jump, climber, we can backdoor the vanilla bean. Oh yeah, like it is very funny how crumble blocks just make people's brains short circuit. Like, I remember like some reviews of Hyper Metroid complaining about the original Hyper Metroid, complaining about the location of the speed booster, because like the room the speed booster's in has crumble blocks that lock you in, and they noticed crumble blocks, and so they just left the room and then wandered around for hours before returning to the room and going past the crumble blocks and getting the speed booster. Which, I don't know, it's just insane to me to think like they'd ignore a boss reward like that. Yeah. I don't know, like... Yes, there's an argument to be made that like people have like weird traumas related to crumble blocks, but I don't know. Oh yeah, though in terms of the development timeline, I made most of the vanilla area first, and it's a bit smaller than the other two areas, but I still like how it turned out in general. Oh yeah, this room's kind of a pain to get back up in, but it's easier to navigate if you get the item from the cherry area first. Well, the thing is, like, in Hyper Metroid, the speed booster is your reward for the boss. So, like, you beat Ridley, you go a couple rooms behind him, and there's just there's a room where the item room music is playing, and yeah. Also, that clip was intended, so I intentionally made that ledge like that just because I felt like it. So I don't know. Again, like, player psychology is baffling, but you inevitably have to design around it whether or not you like it. Okay. Now, on the flip side of like whole player psychology bit, like as a player, you if you're playing a game, you have the, it's not obligation, but it's basically like you have to learn the language the designer's speaking with, the way they arrange levels and other sorts of things. And so, like, you know, communication is a two-way street in that way. Like, ideally, the designer should be reasonably clear in all respects, and the player should be reasonably literate. Oh, and here's one thing I don't think any player noticed. That's a bomb block. So I'm gonna keep that in just because I think it's silly, but yeah. So yeah, we took that tube all the way to the far end of the cherry area here. So yeah. Why should I learn that Tour of Italy uses a number of very subtle morph tunnels? I'd rather forget immediately after finding one. I don't know, like, the way, like, I generally hinted, morph tunnels in walls is, like, there's none of these, like, tech or dark filler behind them. Generally, like, some reviewers caught on very quick, like, they realized, oh, hey, there's a gap in the gap here, so it might be suspicious. Others weren't quite as wise in that respect. Anyways, this is a room that tripped a lot of people up because there's this very obvious hidden passage that just loops you back around, and like you would go up and stuff. But there's also another hidden passage that, you know, takes you to actual progression. And solve that in the anniversary edition by adding an empty item pedestal. Oh yes, yes. You know, hacks must always conform to the player's expectations in all respects. You should never have to learn anything or make any discoveries or deal with any new elements. A hack should ideally be an amazing, transformative experience, but also the exact same as Super Metroid in all respects. Anyways, oh yeah, this room will be the first time we run into lava tide trigger that I made, which was a fun little project, easier than I expected. But yeah, I just touched an invisible trigger and now the lava's rising. I like the face I made there. I'm not sure if anybody noticed it. It's a very silly face. I also hid, there's also a loss hidden somewhere in this hack, but I tried to avoid it in most cases, even though it was tempting to put it as filler. But I'm not going to tell anybody where it is. Alright. And so with this, the tutorial for these high jump boots is like you run here and you bonk your head on that corner. And so you end up here, and you might notice you jump really, really high out of the liquid. Okay. One of the most bizarre things, one of the few unforeseen, come on, close. Unforeseen things here is people somehow used the ice beam to clip through this gate. And I didn't know that was a thing, like ice beam in enemies. But fortunately it didn't like break any logic or whatever, so. What am I doing? And here we have this lava dive room, which is, you know, very, very generous. I might have made like lava too easy to traverse in terms of health drain, but I balanced this hack, balanced damage here around a low % run, because like that was one of the design goals I had very early on, was the required equipment for a low % run. Come on, I don't want to kill you. So much for that. Okay, that should be good enough. So this is kind of a slightly weird place to hide the Varia suit, or the tricolor suit, I should call it. What if there's an ice boots upgrade that auto freezes an enemy you land on it? Oh, that'd be a good idea, actually. It's like all the benefits of the ice beam, and well, most benefits of the ice beam, but none of the hassle. Yeah. Anyways, being Italian, wearing the Italian flag makes you immune to spikes. I don't know, I just thought that was a silly idea. Or I wanted it to provide some environmental benefit, and this doesn't have traditional heated rooms, so that's the motivation there. And I guess I forgot to mention earlier that, like, the steel cleats, the high jump boots, them making you, like, jump up really high in liquid is actually one of the, like, earliest hack ideas I had. Like, as far back as, like, 2009, or when I first joined MetConst. I never got around to making that hack, so that's on me, I guess. And this alternate route down with a lava tide going down is just so you don't get trapped up there with the gate. Like, I wanted there to be like some equipment requirement to get to the upper hub from this area, and I decided to have it be the wave beam, or the Amarena beam. Oh, I feel like this is very silly. Very silly E-tank that I hit, but whatever. Or the way that I hit it was silly, but I don't know. And this is also silly. You can roll under save station for no reason. But yeah, there's that. Yeah, this was actually the last area I made, and it was kind of the hardest for me to design because of the constraint I wanted for the tube to go all the way to the other end. That placed some weird constraints on the design that took some effort for me to find something I was happy with. And then we go down here, and you can just jump up here now with the boots. And I put put a farm down there. Oh wait, what? Why is that flame so slow? I'm trying to remember if I set that parameter intentionally or not. But yeah, there's a farm there, and some cargoes in this room in case people do this suitless. Okay, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people do get here suitless. And so, like, and that's partially, like, intentional. Like, or I guess that was, like, something I accommodated for in the design. And this hack's like 90% background tubes. So many tubes. Oh yeah. Amarena, which is a kind of cherry. And then if you unmorph right there, you can just exit this way without falling down all the way. So right here, this is a backdoor to the cherry, so just a knowledge gate. Although I guess some people like easily wised up to this hidden passage. Like, I don't think I ever saw anybody die to the lava in playthroughs I watched, but I'm not entirely certain. Yeah. Oh yeah, that feels really nice to me. Yeah, I just really like how this item feels underwater, or under liquid. Yes. Oh yeah, that is true, Alberto. Tubes does love tubes. Okay. And like this farm is also for the sake of, you know, the heated run, liquid run. And also because I knew, like, if I put this gate here, a wave gate here, that, you know, 90% of people on Metcons would try glitching through it, which is like, okay, I'll accommodate them. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I did make those weak to normal missiles. It's also funny, like, there are some people who wanted to, like, use the swirl jump to do this, but it's kind of hard with the spikes and the how collision works there. I can confirm you did that. Okay, 0 gates remain, nice. And so, another thing I did hinting-wise is, like, the passage, that tube there goes through some vertical rooms, and so, like, if you pay attention, you'll notice, oh hey, there's something above here. And so you can just jump up. It's a super missile. And, like, and I don't know, some people were confused, like, about the inclusion of super missile in this hack, but it is purely for a convenience for the final area. Yes. No, yeah, this hack actually does have a couple speedrunners who, you know, have labbed it out. So their insider opinions for the update I'm still working on was actually very appreciated and insightful. So anyways, we're gonna do another thing that you, and so since the speed going upwards is uncapped, you can essentially do a moonfall in reverse, so it's a moonrise. And And so you clip through an 8-pixel ceiling. It used to be in like earlier betas, earlier non-public betas, it used to be a 16-pixel ceiling, but that required too much finesse, or it was too precise for me to do it consistently. Anyhow, this plushie, what if I were a marketable plush, is real and right next to me. Pat pat. So, you know, she is watching the stream right now. So, yeah, that was a project I ended up doing a couple months later, in like September last year. Basically, it took me like working on it full time after work, like 2 weeks or so, some ridiculous amount of time. I'd like to do it again faster, but it's definitely not, you know, mass marketable. Anyways, something about this room seems sus. Not sure what. And did I get everything? Oh, wait. I might be missing an energy tank. Oh my gosh. Fell prey to the classic blunder. All the way down. And down. Down we go. Fortunately, this hack's not too big, but yeah. Alas. I forgot one in the one item in the opening area. It might be collectible during the escape, but I forget. Yeah, that's the exit to the item. So I can go this way. But the entrance to the item is here. Like, you just jump up here. And also I included like a one-way platform there. Oh, I don't take damage to those spikes, that's funny. I guess I've never been here with this suit, so yes, now with the power of being Italian, Samus can walk on broken glass. I'm sure that is a ability Italians naturally have. No, actually, I have not consulted with my consultant about that matter. Yeah. I do have a friend who's like actually Italian and stuff, so... And they were a very good help at, you know, making this more, I guess, culturally sensitive and specific. In, you know, sensible ways. So, that was nice. And with the tricolor suit, you can just go up here, and these ledges right here exist solely for that purpose of coming this way. So I realized I did not set the spike animation flag for that room, so oopsie. And I don't know if I fixed that. Yeah, speaking of Hyper Metroid, this hack has a gate system. That's why I was going through all those gates earlier. And yeah, and so the gates here correlate to the 3 areas. You know, pistachio, vanilla, and cherry. And the position of the gate actually correlates with the relative horizontal position in the area itself. So that narrows down to search 2, but I'm not sure if the average player noticed that, but none of the gates are particularly hidden. And this looks like a boss room, but it doesn't. But nothing's going on there, so I wonder what that is. And yeah, looks like I have 100%, so I should be fine here. And it's very, very fun zooming up that wall. And then we have one of my favorite tropes, which is reprising all the areas. And we fight a bunch of Core X's, which go down handily to some super missiles. These are just reskinned Metroids where with some vulnerabilities and code changed, but I don't like the way they look. I've been meaning to fix their sprite maps so they aren't like ugly symmetrical messes, and actually use the proper graphics from Metroid Fusion, but that still hasn't happened. So anyways, you can see why the speedrunners collect super missiles. And why I added them to the game. Okay. So yeah. And this area is symmetrical, so there's a save over here too, and a refill. And here we have the only piece of lore in the, lore dump data log in this version from Captain Giorgio. Her final message. After BSL was destroyed, we audited our cargo from them and found a specimen with viable X cells. We wanted to destroy them, but our superiors wished to harness them. Fools. I am a dead woman. There is no hope in this sealed quarantine chamber. Samus, you're the only one who could be reading this. You know what to do. Take my keys and send this station to Kingdom Come. Alright, and that's the captain herself. She's dead and, posed like a dead person. And here's the keys, some people might recognize what the keys to the station look like. And they let you access the admin console that is literally on the other side of that wall. So now we have to backtrack. And yeah. And now there's 3 of these per room instead of 2. So it's fun juggling the room states with all this. I know some people didn't like this, but I felt it was necessary just for maintaining tension. The one, I guess one complaint I did get is there's drop chances for super missiles are not particularly high in this, so speedrunners often would run out of supers. And the recoil reaction from these guys is very annoying to deal with. It's not as consistent as fusion, and often has the things just go and get bizarre angles. I don't know how that direction is calculated, but it does not make any sense. I think it might be based off of the relative position of the projectiles rather than the direction the projectiles traveling in, which would definitely cause some weird edge cases. So anyways, we're about to fight a boss. I made a couple edits to this guy's AI. So, like, power bombs. The boss is Phantoon. I'm explaining now that I made it so, like, power bombs trigger its rage state, but if you fire super missile, but Phantoon's eye is open, briefly when he's enraged, so you can chain super missiles together by just going from rage to rage. But also, I lied, this boss is not Phantoon. It's the Pope. Okay. Ah, come on. We can do that. And that. There's some jank involved there, but I never figured it out. Like, the graphics don't work entirely properly. It's fine. No, yeah, this fight is very... Like, that resprite is incredibly stupid, but... Like, once the idea occurred to me, I could not stop myself from doing it. It's just, like, the most fitting into the absurdity of this all. Yeah. I used to be really good at chaining the super missiles together, but I'm a fake gamer now. And there. Not too hard. Yeah, it's very memorable and very Italian. And hopefully not, like, very offensive, but no guarantees there, I guess. I forgot about the gate room. I thought it was in this room already. So yeah, and so after the final boss, you can save and take on the escape at your leisure. Oh yeah, yeah. It wouldn't be Italy if they didn't have the Vatican inside. Anyways, this text box pops up for too short, but yeah, you activate the self-destruct sequence and the station immediately deteriorates. So yeah. I'm really proud of this escape, considering, like, I did not plan any of this before finishing all the non-escape rooms. Okay. And here's a shortcut that skips a couple rooms if you found power bombs. I know a couple of people actually found that while playing blind, which is neat. And also, you can collect a bunch of items during the escape. Messed up the speed strat there. Like, all items that exist normally in the game exist during the escape. Yeah, I didn't rinse my spaghetti in cold water after boiling it. Anyways, I'm very proud of this. I think it's very silly. Just seeing those platforms just on the ground. And like, you can even get the ice beam here. Though, or the vanilla bean. I think it's like behind that cargo if you skip it. Oh yes, those platforms know what they did. Oh yeah, unfortunately, like there aren't any animals in this version of the hack, but I added an extra segment to the escape in the upcoming version that takes you all the way through the cherry area. Also, it was very funny to me seeing everybody stub their toe on this missile right here that was up there in the escape. Just a look of audible confusion from them all. Yeah, not too bad of an escape. And I think we got, like, what's max percent in this? Like 104? Yeah, GG to me. And thank you all for watching. And of course, I had to steal the ending music to Vitality. So, them song's actually from Xenogears, but I've never played that. And let's see, how long did this take me? About an hour, I think. Well, an hour real time, but in-game time. Alright, 45 minutes. Not too bad for an unrouted 100% run. Bearing the dread that she may now be Italian from absorbing the X, and having learned of the scheme of Pope Maramus X, Samus rushed to report her findings to the Federation. The Chozo held a surprise party for Samus, and she attended it. I can hardly read that without laughing. Tour of Italy. A hack by me, and yeah. Alright, respect to the Air Force and all that. But yeah, I am still very proud of how this turned out. Like, the main tile set for the areas, like, main foreground tile set is plainer than I wanted. A bit plain, but otherwise. I think I achieved the majority of my design goals here. So yeah, and shoutouts to Emberion for, you know, being my Italian cultural consultant, and Neen for, you know, just being very helpful and reliable in all this. And yeah. Also, in the updated version, I finally added a hyphen to this font. Okay. So yeah. So the upcoming version, like, makes a few level design changes, but it also, like, does some other changes that are kind of arbitrary. Like, I changed the HUD so it fits all the items that you do get in the game and doesn't have like a blank space, and it's just like different from a graphic design perspective as well. Yeah. In another 50 years, the font will get a dash. Yes. Okay. Thank you so much for playing my game. Be glad that I did not voice Mario in the Mario movie. you know, they rejected my application out of hand. It was very rude of them, but I understand. I understand why they had to do it. Mario cameo in the sequel? Maybe. Like, I do have another idea for a Super Metroid hack that I guess I haven't really discussed outside of Discord, but basically it takes place in, you know, a Metroid version of Giant Land, you know, that world from Mario 3. And so I guess it would make sense for there to be a Mario cameo there of some sort. Yeah. I guess part of the reason, like, I'm doing some stuff like changing the HUD and respriting some things for the update is to just get myself used to or knowledgeable about how to make those sorts of changes for another hack if I ever get around to it. Though, who knows if I'll, you know, ever have like this much free time and unbridled, or just this much free time and like strong creative vision again. It's hard to say, but yeah. I meant to have the the update to this hack ready like for the first anniversary on Monday, but I got distracted by some stuff, and I still need to search around and ask for help with the music. Yes, I'll never have free time again soon. You know what that's like, Vinny. Yeah. Yes. Thank you all for watching. I am going to pause this so the music's no longer in my ears while I send you off, and then I will send you all off. So here's the end card. Raid channel. Are there any channels I want to raid? Well, Claire Diviner is playing Super Metroid. So I am going to send you to her. All right. Thank you for watching as well. Okay. Like, Claire's channel is like intended for certain audiences or whatever. I didn't realize that. Maybe I just clicked past that. I don't know. Well, whatever. I am going to start the raid right now and then stop the recording. So yeah, thank you all for watching.